I'm gonna fly through some slides and share from my side of the desk what's happening in the world of AI, what's happening in the world of investing, what's happening in the world of founding and startups. I'll fly through them, and then if there's anything that you want to talk about, then we can chat about it, and I'm very comfortable being punched in the face, so that's fine. I'm Dan, I'm 50, I've just got piles and deep vein thrombosis from being sat on the floor for half an hour. I've been a founder for 20 odd years and a VC for 6. So I crossed to the dark side in 2017. I run a firm called SUPERSEED. We invest in B2B AI, SaaS. I'm a white middle-aged man. What did you expect? Founded in 18, we're on our second fund. We're going to raise our third fund next year. It's a £50 million UK fund, investing primarily in really technical founders who are solving deep, meaningful business problems. So it's a very classic B2B play. We're all founders in the team. There's 7 of us. We're all ex-founders, all exited founders. And I don't really fully understand how anybody that hasn't ever built a startup can even invest in early stage startups. It blows my mind, but it happens. Right, enough about me and it. So 3 business examples just to bring alive what we invest in. So Garvis, they do demand forecasting, supply chain management. They use AI to help demand planners. If I'm making deodorants, how many should I ship to Pakistan? They can do all that using AI. Octopi, a federated learning, so they do on-the-edge device management. If you're managing drones or cars or any device that needs the security and the speed of on-the-edge management. Fintium, I had to learn before we invested in Fintium all around intraday bank liquidity, whatever the fuck that is. So I just wanted to give you some examples of the kinds of startups that we invest in. SUPERSEED, obviously all seed, all very early stage. So the way that I kind of compartmentalize in my head before I make an investment, what is the AI angle on the business? Is it literally picks and shovels? Is it the NVIDIA play? Is it a platform, the ChatGPT, or is it a company or a platform plus? Is it doing something else technically, and they're kind of shoving AI in the side to add a functional set? So that's the kind of the 3 buckets that I put AI in my world in. I'm sure that makes very little sense, but that's how I kind of see the world, AI in business. When you're selling, who here's a founder? And obviously you're building AI, or you're an AI technical founder, or you're doing something like that. So when you're selling into companies, at the moment, it's obviously still super hot. Now, Garvis, one of the companies that I mentioned, they ran a webinar it must have been about March. And normally their webinars will attract about 60, 80 people. It's like a very classic sales webinar when they hero an existing client and then try and encourage more clients to sign up to their product. Now, as soon as they mentioned ChatGPT, because they built a way of natural language searching the database, they had 1,600 signups. So in the commercial world, in your client's world, it's still a very hot topic. And I think we've got 6, 12, 18 months of this kind of super hot, hypey world that we're going to live in. A few other notes about selling whatever service that you're selling if you're a founder. Sometimes the ICP or the persona, the ideal customer profile, is not who you think it is. Sometimes you think it's RevOps or it's the operations. Sometimes it's the CFO that gives you the shoe-in. So have a think about who you're selling to. Consider user and buyer. Watch out, who's selling to enterprise or big business? It's a bitch, isn't it? So it's long sales cycles, long implementation cycles often. So watch out for the consensus sell. You can do tricks like you can sell on credit card money. This often works. Some of our portfolio companies do this. To get through procurement, to get in the door, they'll sell something under 5K where anybody can sign that off on their credit card, and then they cross-sell and upsell once they've got into the organization. Defining your ideal customer profile is really important. Obviously, who you're selling to. Test and iterate and play with that. And it's not the person. Always thinking, is it the territory? Is it the organization? Is it then the role and then the person? So define ICPs or personas in those ways. So if you're selling AI, I just wanted to give you a few little hints and tips. Now, when it comes to the AI hype cycle, I don't think the normal rules apply. It's so pervasive. It's obviously, I think, since November last year, I think when Sam Altman released the latest, or at that point, the latest version of ChatGPT, it kind of took a whole new world. Now, I've been investing in AI for about 7 or 8 years. It's been around obviously for donkey's years, but it's become this super popularized, slightly hypey version of itself, but none of these rules apply. It is too pervasive. It is too embedded in everything that's going to happen, everything that's going to change the world. So I think all rules are off when it comes to hype cycles. The way that I view the application of AI when it comes to value and selling into business, one of the angles that we use is the net zero energy transition. I passionately believe that AI will fuel the resource efficiency and business optimization that we need as the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle to make a more sustainable planet. Now, I know I sound like a naive fool up here, but I passionately believe the toolkits that are coming up now and over the next few years are going to solve humanity's greatest crises. And obviously, creating a sustainable planet is top of the list. We have nowhere to live. I don't believe in shifting off to Mars just yet, but I'll leave that to Elon. So the pink is the investment required, 275 trillion. The blue is the existing GDP. So we're a long way off having the cash to be able to make the changes that we need. AI, down here, you obviously can't see this at the back. We have resource efficiency, this block here, and enhanced productivity. Between the two, between helping companies save money and enabling them to make money, we can create the wealth gap, I believe, that is the missing part of the jigsaw puzzle for the net zero energy transition. We have the talent in Europe, and I do include the UK in this bucket. We have the talent here. We don't have markets. We have nowhere to list. We have obviously multiple language barriers. We have shitty infrastructure around government regulation, compliance. We don't have a culture of sales, but we have all of the bloody talent. So it's our job to unlock all of this talent and put Europe back on the map. And I don't need to share this with you in the room, but just for context, we have new use cases popping up, new business cases popping up for across the board. Every sector, every territory, everything is going to be disrupted using AI. And we have down here, we have the model layers and we have the application layers. This is, again, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but this is not crypto, not Web3, not metaverse. This is absolutely transformational stuff. My wife thinks I'm the most boring man on the planet. She's probably right. So generative AI, I think it's quite interesting that this is not going to be a blue-collar disruption. This is very much an information workers, a white-collar disruption. I think it's the first time that a technical revolution has been in that context. And we have at the top here, we have generative AI, what is it going to affect? We have all the STEM professionals at the top, we have education and workforce training, and we have agriculture down at the bottom. There are a whole bunch of sectors and spaces that are going to be disrupted just from the generative AI stuff. When it comes to jobs, again, where is the opportunity? I don't know if do any of you follow Scott Galloway or any of the, you'll know he's big on health tech in the US. AI is a massive piece. There's a massive opportunity. Obviously, the UK with the NHS and the European dislocation is different, but in America, health tech with AI is going to be ridiculously massive over the next decade. And then all the way down to office support is probably the least affected. So there are a whole raft of jobs that are going to not necessarily, I mean, obviously there are going to be jobs going, but there's going to be disruption all the way from health professionals down to these customer support and office support. There is hype. There are tools like me in the venture capital community who are pumping money into slightly spray and pray, being a bit egocentric and a bit crazy. We kind of need that nuts to happen. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard of Mistral raising 80 million quid off the back of a napkin after 4 weeks. Obviously, there was a big French play. There's a big nationalistic play. Obviously, ridiculously smart people doing smart things, but there is going to be a bunch of venture capital nonsense that's still going to wash through. All I will say is that we don't have the money Interest rates are not 0%. There's no quantitative easing. We don't have the same macro environment. So there will not be the same crazy bubble of 21, 22, but there is going to be a period of nonsense. We've got 18 months of people being dickheads in the venture capital community before it all settles down. And I think that's fine, because there's a lot of reality that's bedded underneath. There's a lot of amazing people building incredibly transformative platforms, technologies, and obviously businesses on the commercial side. Global VC funding, everybody knows 21, 22 was crazy times. So we've got global VC funding on the left, we've got AI funding on the right. The red circles around Q1, we have 5 billion invested into AI in Q1 this year, of 69 billion being invested in VC globally. Obviously, it's easy to look in a rearview mirror. Anybody can look backwards and go, oh my God, but this whole period here was just crazy. This wasn't the norm. This wasn't even venture capital. Nearly 70% of this blip, this overgrowth, was what I call tourist investors. It was hedge funds, it was sovereign wealth, it was private equity. It was a whole bunch of cash masquerading as venture capital. It wasn't, and I'm not excusing myself here, it wasn't VC, it wasn't venture capital. So on nearly every graph that you see like this, you can just shave off this ridiculous 2-year pimple. We've got 19 at the bottom here, all the way up to 23 Q1. So you can just shave off this pimple. The actual trajectory of venture capital and investments into people like you is still at a healthy clip. In fact, in pre-seed and seed, in the early stage, valuations are going up, deal flow is going up. So it's only mid and growth stage that have really taken a haircut because they were investing in faster e-scooters and 10-minute grocery deliveries and that and kind of bullshit. So if we look at the European deal activity by quarter, whoopah, again, crazy nonsense. This is Europe, but actually Q2 2023 is still above Q3 2020. So we've only lost 2 years of nonsense, and now we're back, hopefully, fundamental businesses, transformative stuff, none of the bullshit. We're getting back to reality in business and investing. If we just look at Alphabet as an example, I mean, Sundar, he obviously is a massive AI bull, and quite rightly so, and Google is going to be a massive player in this space. There is not one item on their revenue stream. This is their revenue stream from left to right. There's not one item here that isn't affected by AI. In fact, it's all going to have to be massively affected by AI to survive. I think I'm right in saying about 80% of their revenue is still in ads via various channels. And AI is going to play a massive part for them. And that's the same for whether you're Meta, whether you're Alphabet, whether you're Amazon, always streaming down into the mid and small businesses. And I also believe there's going to be an AI plus aspect to what we're investing in the short term. Who knows whether it's going to be fusion or the LK99 stuff, whether it's bullshit or not. I think most of it has been debunked. The quantum side, there's going to be in the short term other technologies where AI just accelerates. AI just it creates a whole new raft of what I hope will be used for good. To make society better, but we've got some exciting stuff coming up in the not too distant future. So to close off, because I know you've all got numb bums, the title of my talk was, what is the commercial reality around AI? And I very kind of cheesily put AI is the commercial reality. Everyone in this room, if you're working in artificial intelligence, you are in the right place at the right time, and this is a really magical time to be alive. And my only other tip is just go and fish where the fish are. It doesn't really matter what the technology is. No one really cares whether it's a blockchain database or you're using HTML or what. They care about the commercial application of what you're doing. So always fish where the fish are and focus on the commercial reasoning for doing whatever it is that you're doing. And that's the end of me. Any questions? I'm all yours. Thank you.